Tension has a question. What do I do when a lot of my friends are VTubers who are all currently streaming at the same time?
You open all the tabs. You
Open,
support every single one.
open all the tabs, support every single one. So
Yes.
like one thing, and I don't know, I don't know, like a lot of people say like, you open a tab and like you mute the tab, it'll still count as a viewer even though like you don't click the mute button. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, my view on that is mixed because like in a way, like I feel like why should it even be necessary? Like I don't know, like hitting the mute button, wouldn't that still like if you're hitting the mute button but still looking at the stream, that should still count as a view. Like I don't know why Twitch should discount that as a view just because of that. Like
It's because Twitch is weird.
yeah, Twitch
Twitch
is
is
really
weird.
weird. Like and I'm gonna segue straight into this discussion because I really want to talk about it. It's been really hard on my mind the
Yeah.
past like couple like the past like week and a half specifically. Um
Yeah.
so do you think that how do you think streaming platforms will evolve? And do you think that YouTube might become the more dominant platform?
Yes, I think YouTube will become the more dominant platform. In fact, I think that Twitch is going to die, but I don't think it's going to be like for another few years unless they make some really like hardcore like corporate change. They need to make some big changes, and as we've seen in the past, Twitch is very resistant to change. So if that'll happen or not, I guess we'll see. But the reason that I believe YouTube streaming is the future, hear that Facebook gaming is good too. I don't really know much about Facebook gaming, but I think YouTube is for one. I personally love YouTube and I love Google. I know they're kind of like monopolizing in a bit, but I really believe in YouTube because of how much of free education it's given and how much of it like the whole YouTube University joke where you can learn so much from YouTube and not have to like go to college. I love YouTube from the bottom of my heart, and they really care about like their viewers and they care about everybody. Devin Nash had talked about this. Have you ever heard of Devin Nash before?
Yes, I watched a
Yeah.
whole bunch of his videos. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I absolutely love Devin Nash, and he talked about how like much the CEO like cares. He said like there's somebody that's very popular on YouTube. I forget who it was, but was having a problem with YouTube, and then like the CEO literally called him up and said, "How can we help like make this better or fix this?" So it's very evident that YouTube cares very much about their creators, and a lot of people. Devin had mentioned this on his YouTube, one of his recent YouTube videos, how a lot of people don't understand like, well, if live streaming is the way of the future, how come YouTube doesn't have a search category kind of like Twitch does? Well, the reason that they don't is because YouTube actually wants to fix the problem that Twitch couldn't. Twitch doesn't really have the funding. Like Devin was saying, he really believes that Twitch is running out of the funding because why wouldn't they keep people like Tim the Tap Man and I forget what the other guy's name is, like Lupo or something. I
Lupo, Dr.
never watched
Lupo,
him.
and
Dr.
Dr.
Lupo, yeah.
Disrespect.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, why would they not keep them? That's like a huge kind of loss for them. So he's saying, I truly think Twitch is running out of budget and YouTube has the budget. So what they're doing right now is YouTube is trying to put in the research to understand how to support smaller creators. They don't want to just make it so it's like search category, the biggest streamer is all the way at the top and it's impossible to find all these other people creating. YouTube is actually trying to put money and research into solving those problems. So YouTube, if they play their cards right and they continue to do that research, I think that YouTube is the way to go. And that's another reason why it goes back to the question we talked about earlier, Emberly, and that's you shouldn't be putting all of your cards into just Twitch because that's a terrible idea. You need to be spreading yourself across at least three. My general rule of thumb is three platforms as a content creator if you want to make it.
Yeah, definitely. Like definitely branching yourself out, and
Yeah,
and it's honestly like a part of the reason why I'm also trying to brand myself as a YouTuber as well is because
good.
I really don't see like with where Twitch is right now. I see within like 3 to 5 years, it's gonna swap over to YouTube pretty soon, and I think what's going to happen like it depends on how Google response because right now
Yeah,
there's all these issues with Twitch. All these content creators have been very vocal about it. There's been the September 1st like boycott of Twitch and everything, and like there there's a lot of concern and outcry from content creators that just aren't being heard by Twitch. And
yep,
i think it's just I think it's because Twitch is under a lot of corporate veil. You know,
Yeah.
it's under the corporate veil of Amazon, and I don't think they really put much value in Twitch as a platform because it's just another part of Amazon's conglomerate, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's just another part. Like they probably value more, you know, people using, you know, the Amazon AWS services or, you know, the APIs associated with Twitch, not necessarily the platform itself, you know?
Yes.
And I think Google right now is seeing this, and I think they're planning, or at least they have to be. Like, they have to be planning some
They have to
way
be.
to
Yeah.
bolster up their streaming platform, because right now I feel like YouTube's streaming platform's underdeveloped. While, you know,
Agreed.
the way that they're addressing discoverability is really cool and really effective, I think it's very underdeveloped because, you know, they don't have rating. They don't have, you know, they don't have like gift subsystems. They don't have like
Right.
a really they don't have like the same community foundation as Twitch does. Which, you know, I feel like it would only take a couple fixes on Google's end. Like, it probably wouldn't take much work for them to implement all those systems. Like, I don't think it would take much work from them at all. And I feel like if they did implement those things and found some way to get like rating systems and community involvement in it, that a lot more people would start moving. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I think they I think it is easy, like you said. There's not a lot they can do to improve, but I also think they don't want to just like just oh now we have all these things. I think they're really taking their time to play their cards right now. I think they have a huge strategy that we have not even a slightest clue about that they will release here in a few years. I think they've probably been working on something behind the scenes, and if they haven't, they probably definitely have started now that they're kind of seeing like the downfall of Twitch.
Like, they're very slow game.
Yeah, they're long game is what I'd say. They're in it for the long game. Twitch is more in it for the short game. So,
Yeah.
and any business owner that knows like anything about business knows that you need to understand and have the end in mind and be in it for the long game. And if you don't, and you just keep planning for the short term, your business is going to collapse.
And it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to observe that, cuz I find that even being a content creator and a streamer, that like Twitch is very focused on like short term, whereas like YouTube's more focused on long term. Like, it's way easier, it's significantly easier to get monetized on Twitch than it is to get monetized on YouTube.
Yeah,
And like it's significantly easier. Um
right.
and like I find I see a lot of parallels, and like not just like that the business operates the same way that it sort of encourages their creators to.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, and Narn, I think is his name. Narn just said in chat, he said Twitch figures that they've got us. I mean, if you get fed up enough, where are you gonna go? Mixer? Yeah, exactly, Narn. And I think that's a key mistake in Twitch's like plan because I mean they do have us right now because Twitch is the go-to for live streaming. People know that. But there's no way it's not staying that way because now we've got things like Instagram going live, TikTok has things going live. It's all these other platforms are going to start opening up live streaming, and if they figure out better ways to implement it than Twitch does, Twitch is going down the hill. And I think Twitch needs to do two things. I think one, they need to figure out how to treat just their overall like customer base and treat everyone better and stop doing things like keeping partners exclusive to streaming on Twitch and just all this other shenanigans that's been going on with like hate raids and all that. They need to fix that, number one. Number two, they need to start creating a place where you can make discoverable content like YouTube has the library of evergreen content. Those are the two things they need to do to save their business. If they don't do that, they're gone.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Like, for one thing, like YouTube, like Twitch videos and clips have like zero discoverability.
Yeah,
Like, absolutely zero discoverability. Like, you're not gonna go on Twitch and just stumble upon someone else's clip. Like, you would
right.
never really just get recommended someone else's clip unless you're on their channel. Like,
Yeah,
like that's
there's
something
very
that just
few
doesn't
ways.
happen. Yeah, very few
Yeah,
ways. Like, I whenever I make a clip on Twitch, I just end up moving it over to YouTube, or if it's a shorter one, TikTok, because no one's gonna see it otherwise. I mean,
right.
when was the last time you've seen a clip on a Twitch channel? Like,
Right.
I don't know, like, right? Like, I don't know. Like, chat can chime in on this because I don't know. Like, think about the last time you've sought out a clip on Twitch or have even dug
Never.
up for one. Yeah, like never, unless
Right.
it's
Just
one
answer
that
my
like
own.
you make. Yeah, unless it's one that like
Yeah.
you make. I find that you're not really gonna do that, you know?
Right.
Whereas on YouTube, you can like not only do they push it out to you, but like creators can literally advertise it better by like making fancy thumbnails and stuff with it. Which I mean, I guess you could do that on Twitch too, because they do have a thumbnail system for their clips, but like there's no point to it if it's not getting pushed out to anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because that's one thing I have a lot of fun with doing on YouTube is making funny thumbnails. I love making funny thumbnails. Like
Thumbnails are so fun to make.
they're probably one of the most fun things I get out of doing YouTube. Like
Yeah,
just
I
making
enjoy it too.
like a really funny thumbnail that like that people will click on. But what would you say? Like, what would you say it would take for you to move from Twitch to YouTube as a streaming platform?
Yeah, so I already stream on YouTube and on Twitch. I stream on YouTube the last Saturday of every month, and I'm actually going to increase it right now. I'm going to stream every Saturday
Okay.
because I legitimately get like 30 new members joining my Discord, and I connect with so many people that don't even know I stream on Twitch on my YouTube channel when I go live over there. So it's an absolute must for me. In fact, the day that I'm able to apply for Twitch partner, I'm going to negotiate my contract and I'm going to say, look, uh, it, I need to be able to stream over on YouTube or I'm not going to be able to be a partner here. And if they don't negotiate the contract with me and Twitch is continuing to just make poor decisions, I will probably move over to YouTube permanently.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know Down Hunter said if I need to find a clip, my impulse is always to go to YouTube, right?
Yeah,
Like that's where I go cuz that's where all the content creators are uploading the clips. They're also uploaded on there. Like
right.
it's just kind
I don't know
of
why I just like glitched downwards. What the
yeah.
heck?
Your seat went down.
Oh,
It
I
kind
just
of
like flew down.
oh
Okay.
like
This is
it
creepy. I look
reminds
like
me
a
of
midget
like
now.
like it reminds me of like you know like when you have like a really scuffed like office chair and like the hydraulics
Yeah.
on it is broke and you like sit on it and it just goes that like I
Yes.
feel like that's just what happened to you.
I want to move my chair down here. I don't know why that happened.
Yeah.
Some sus stuff going on. Oh, now my Unity is like
Oh no. Oh
frozen.
no.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Also, I gotta say, it's so freaking cool how like you have like your monitor screen showing on there. Like,
Oh
I know,
yeah,
I think Phil
NDI.
Famet
Thank
did a
you.
tutorial on it. I think you did a tutorial on it.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
Fofa did. I followed her tutorial.
Okay.
Look, there you
Yeah.
are. Yes.
That's so cool.
Dino Hunter.
Wow.
Narn Barn. Yeah.
Would y'all say streaming on YouTube is more discoverable than in Twitch? What would you say? Because you said you've been streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. Would you say that you get more viewers on YouTube versus Twitch? Would you get like what would you say? I know you say you get a lot of new Discord
Yeah.
members, but
I would say I get more right now my average view count is definitely higher on Twitch. But that's because I have
uh
more of a consistent schedule on Twitch. But more people find me while I'm streaming on YouTube, and that's just because my YouTube channel is already established. Like I'm getting on average 300 YouTube views per hour on my stream, which means there are 300 people essentially shifting through my channel per hour, as compared to Twitch, probably literally like maybe one person per hour, two persons per hour if they get recommended you or are scrolling through whatever category you're in. So literally, like if you have a YouTube channel that starts picking up in the algorithm, you should be streaming on YouTube. But if your YouTube channel is still very new and you're not getting like necessarily a lot of people, I don't think it really matters then. I think you can stream on whichever platform, but you need to start creating evergreen content then on YouTube.
yeah. So for those who don't understand, could you explain evergreen content to them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, guys. So evergreen content, basically what that means is it's content that is searchable and things that can always be found. It's like a forest. It's like a forest of evergreen trees where you can always go there and like collect wood. It's always like a place of resources. And that would be YouTube channels that solve your problems. Like I have tutorials like a VC face tutorial or a how to make a VTuber tutorial. And people can always search and find those things. But like on Twitch, you can't search for a VOD. Once the VOD spot it has been recorded live, it's there for however many days, and you still can't even search it. Even if it's there for days, you can't search it in the Twitch bar, and then it's gone. So evergreen content is things that you can search and that's always there that you can sort of like collect the wood from in like an analogy sense because it's an evergreen tree or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now, so going on to that, have you ever tried TikTok?
Yep, I do have a TikTok. I'm at about over 3,000 followers on TikTok. I had a few TikToks go pretty viral, which kind of like made me grow a ton on TikTok. I
Uh,
post mostly clips and such there right now, but I think TikTok is a pretty important part to be on, a pretty important place to be on right now. I do think that it is great to pour like extra hours into making quality clips for TikTok, but I also believe that TikTok is the easiest place to get away with making garbage content that can do well.
yeah, I would say that 100%. Like I don't put a whole lot of effort into my own TikToks either, cause like one thing that I would say about TikTok, and I don't know if you'll agree with disagree with me on this, but like TikTok is by no means ever really evergreen. Like I feel like any clip or
Yeah,
content you
I
make
don't
on
feel
it
like it is either.
just kind
Yeah.
of I feel like any clip I put out there dies after like a day or two or maybe even a week if it's like a viral one.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I think TikTok is more about just helping people discover you and like see your face more and get your brand in their face, but I don't really think it's that true like helpful content that's really going to give them a lot of service. So TikTok's a great way to be discoverable and then hopefully hook the person to go to your longer form content like your YouTube videos.
Yeah. So with in terms of TikTok, what would your strategy be for TikTok versus YouTube? Like is it more quantity versus quality, would you say?
Right now, for me, it's quantity versus quality. If I had a team, I'd be trying to produce quality everywhere. I do have an editor for my TikToks, not my normal YouTube channel, but for my TikToks slash shorts, I do have an editor. And it's more for me about quantity because I'm just trying to become more discoverable and just like produce some stuff there. I don't really have the time, the energy, or the money to be able to produce super high quality stuff into TikTok. Again, I could, but I don't think that's where my time is best spent. I think my time is best spent still in the long form content on YouTube. So my strategy right now is literally just taking clips from my Twitch channel or taking sections out of my long form YouTube videos that are already doing well and then placing those all over places like Instagram Reels, TikToks, and YouTube Shorts. And that's pretty much what I do for that for now. And I might make them a little bit more valuable if I'm able to like scale up and get a team.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would say like right now, like yeah, I put like zero effort into my TikToks, and like
Yeah,
if
same.
something hitches, it hitches, you know,
Right.
and it's always the one that hitches that does like way better. But in terms of
It's
like
always the one you
YouTube,
don't expect too. It's always some
yeah.
random stuff. And you're like, what?
Well,
Why?
for myself, it was like this. I did like for my charity stream, I did like this spin to wheel redeem thing, and like
Yeah.
it's literally I got and one of them was like, have you ever heard of Bean Boozled?
Oh, yes, I have Bean
Yes.
Boozled.
So
Yeah.
one of the it hit on the Bean Boozled one, and I
Yeah.
basically had to eat a Bean Boozled bean, and like
Mhm.
literally like I got like this white bean, and it turned out to be like a rotten egg one. And I when I
No.
took a bite out of it, I literally almost threw up. I put that clip onto TikTok, and like people love it. Like I'm like, why do you love
No.
this?
Yeah. You gotta think of your audience over there too. Your audience
Yeah,
over there is usually like little kids and they just like really like kind of dumb stuff or like things that are just silly. So like that's kind of like that's just
yeah,
going back to understanding who your audience is on what platform. Like Facebook is probably going to be older people and like YouTube I think is more like pretty much a lot of people like our age and then like older people as well. And then like TikTok is a lot of the new gen like kids and stuff.
that is true. That is true. Yeah, because I don't really think about about like the audience of TikTok a whole lot. Like they are a
Yeah.
lot of younger people. That is true. Um, I know like and in terms of like YouTube, what's your strategy on YouTube versus like say TikTok? So I know you say you go for evergreen content. Is there anything else you
Yeah.
keep in mind when you do YouTube? Like is there anything like you really want to hone down on with it?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to fix my angry face because I was gonna answer. Like, I'm gonna be angry when I answer that.
I was like,
I was like, why is my face angry?
Sapphire's
Yeah, so
angry.
like Angie. Yeah, so my YouTube strategy right now is just to continue to So right now I'm on this YouTube course. It's called Video Ranking Academy. It's by one of my favorite YouTubers named Sean Cannell.
Yeah.
And Video Ranking Academy teaches you like this system basically called the 7 R's, and it's like this system you run all your videos through every single time you post a video,
Uh,
and a lot of it circulates around the concept of search engine optimization. So for my strategy is just video ideas and then running through the 7 R's and all those strategies with SEO, and just to consistently do that. That's literally my YouTube strategy.
wow. Okay, yeah. So you kind of try. So if you could break that down a little more, because I felt like you went across like you were doing like multiple. So you kind of take multiple steps. So could you like kind of break it down step by step?
Yeah, so like basically the first thing is like to do research. So you research your competition, you research the topic you're going to do, and you see like, is this a topic that I can actually like create a video on? Is there going to be people looking for it, or is the competition too high, or is it just right, or whatever? So that's like the first thing that you do, and then you reverse engineer. You like look at the videos and you understand, what do people do? How can you do it better in your video? I don't know like all the 7 R's by heart, like off the top of my head, to like be able to go through them, but
Uh,
those are like some of the most important parts, is to research and reverse engineer, and then to be able to execute the concept yourself. And then you use tools like vidIQ to search certain titles to see if you can rank. And then you just do the research and you write and you script, and then you post it out there.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I think one thing that is true is reverse engineering for sure. Because like
Yeah.
I was looking at how you were doing content too. Because I put out interviews as well. Because I know you do VTuber voices, and
Yeah.
like I found that like I would upload my full interviews, and like they wouldn't really get the full like view through. And then I looked at like how, because I remember like I was watching one of your videos one day and I was like, wait, I'm like, she's interviewing this person, and like she's breaking it down into smaller videos. I'm like, I actually really like how she does this. like
Yeah.
like was that intentional? Like did you find that to perform better for you, aside from just like uploading the video in its entirety?
Yeah, so that definitely was intentional. My plan was, for one, to just make it more sustainable for me while I was figuring out my YouTube channel. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to just like take these 45-minute long things, cuz I know our attention span is super short in this day and age. Because like stuff like TikTok, people are consuming like 15 seconds worth of content, and I was like, every time I listen to a podcast, I love podcasts, but I feel like it's so much information and I wish like it was a little bit more digestible. So my approach going into my podcast was, I'm just going to break it into digestible chunks of information. So if like people can learn a few things from this episode but not get all this information, I felt like it would be more valuable that way. But then there's also, like, to play devil's advocate, a lot of people understand that podcasts are a longer form of content, and you are going to be sitting there like doing the dishes or doing your laundry while listening to like a 45 minute talk. So it's funny you bring that up, because I was doing the split way that I'm doing it, but I'm thinking of going now like to just doing full 45-minute episodes and not splitting it, because I felt like continuing to split it up like that has actually been like creating like a disconnect on my YouTube channel, because then it's like a lot of like just these split like interview things. And so I'm like a little conflicted with what direction I'm going to take, but yeah, it was initially planned how I put it down into like those bite-sized chunks.
You know what's one good way to do that? Because I saw
Mm,
another podcast do this.
yeah.
Have you? I know. So I don't know what it's called on YouTube, but there's this thing where like you can literally split off your video into
Chapters?
things. Yeah, chapters.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, so I could do chapters. I can do like one full video and do chapters that answers like all those questions. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, like chapters. Because yeah, I might
Yeah.
like because that's something I saw like a podcast do that I thought was really good. So that way
Yeah.
it kind of gives both options, like people who want to like just have the content run while they're doing dishes or doing work or something. Because that's something I do a lot. Like I listen to a lot of interviews on YouTube and stuff, and I like to just kind of keep them running. I like just kind of
Yeah.
keep them running. I'll listen to the full long form. I'm not going to lose interest quickly because I'm working on stuff. Like so it's a little bit of background noise and a little bit of like thinking about stuff. So it's like if there's any lulls in the conversation, it's not like a big deal. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas like for others, who want to go for the short form, they can scrub through the chapters that they want to hear, or if they only have a couple minutes to watch, they have that option. So it kind of opens both options. Because yeah, that is something I thought to myself too. Like when I was watching your videos, I was like, oh, I'm like, why doesn't she just upload the whole thing so I can just keep it running? So I think that's a brilliant way to bring in both options. So that's yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm glad you presented that. I agree, and I think that's probably the direction I'm gonna take.
yeah. Um, definitely. Um, but yeah, so would you say that you're kind of already shifting yourself towards full time, like you like, or not like full time, but like moving from Twitch to YouTube? Would you say you're already doing that?
Um, ooh, that's a good question. So like I used to stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes Saturday on Twitch.
Yeah.
Now I only stream Monday and Wednesdays. I might be bringing like some Friday night hours back for just like personal stuff, but I've already definitely made the shift like more over to YouTube. I put a lot more of my focus into doing research for my videos and putting out more YouTube videos now. Like I've swapped before in my routine back and forth from doing one YouTube video a week to two YouTube videos a week to one to two, and now I just keep realizing the importance of YouTube more than ever. Like I enjoy Twitch streaming and I used to enjoy it a lot more, like for my 4 to 5 years of streaming on Twitch. But now I just enjoy YouTube so much more. So for me, like in my mental health as a content creator too, it's gonna be so much better for me to move like fully over to YouTube because it's this crafted version of how I want to present information. And because I'm an educator and I value teaching people quality content, I don't feel like I can always offer that on live streams, and I'm aware that it's not always going to be that on live streams, but I don't, and on live streams I always have to like have this really hyped up energy or always be on all the time. But with YouTube, I can click that record button and I can write out a script to really nail down what I want to say. And I just really much more prefer YouTube, and I'm definitely like shifting my focus into I want to put more time into that over Twitch.
Like more so like making videos?
Yeah, making videos. And streaming too, but I'd like to shift more into video content over live streaming content.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say like I can kind of see that too, because like when you're streaming and having to always be on, like yeah, that can be a bit exhausting. Like I've seen people like do like 24-hour streams and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm like, how do you do
That's
that?
great. I will
Like
never do a
where
24-hour
yeah, I'm
stream.
like
Never.
where would the energy for that even come from? Like
Yeah.
because it is a lot of energy. You have to constantly be moving, you have to constantly be, talking and speaking. It's not like you can sit idly by because if you do that you usually lose out on like a lot of viewers and a lot of like interest, because
Yeah.
that's just kind of how it is. Like it's kind of like almost like I would say live streaming is almost like you're on stage, like you're on stage
Yeah.
in like a comedy show almost. No, not
That's
necessarily like a comedy show, but like something similar to that, like, and you're putting on like an
that's
improv
absolutely
performance.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like full improv mode. And like it could be like that with YouTube too, but again, you could retake the shots. It's not just like out there and it's not, you got to deal with it, you could redo it.
Yeah, I will say one thing I do love about streaming is the fact that like when you do a stream that like involves the viewers. Like for
Yeah, viewer
instance,
engagement.
yeah, for instance, like the other day I did a Phasmophobia stream. And I had it set so that like have you ever played Phasmophobia? Oh, okay. So it's
Not a
a
horror game person.
yeah, it's a ghost hunting game. And
Yeah.
basically I when I was playing through it, I added the option for viewers to redeem channel points to play sounds of the ghosts in the game to scare me.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
So
That's good. I like that.
like I would do like stuff like that. And like people would love it. And I think interactability, like doing like stuff that like involves a lot of interactability. And that's why I really liked the German Dollhouse stream, because it was just heavy on interactability. Like that's the only time I can really like super like yeah, I'll keep on this energy for this just because I know the viewers are enjoying it as much as I am, because I know like you can get like a lot of viewers but not like a lot of activity in chat because there's not a lot of interactability going on. And it's good to get that like live feedback of like, oh yeah, people are liking this is people are putting are making it, are changing up the stream and put giving feedback and stuff. Like that's it's kind of it's like it's almost like it becomes more of a give and take situation rather than like
Yeah.
a give and give and give.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I like that.
Yeah. Um but but yeah, I mean, I think that's really cool that you're kind of already moving to like a YouTube direction over Twitch.
Thank you.
Because I feel like a lot of people are like getting super hesitant about it. And I think in many in ways like it sort of makes sense because it's like when you have a audience already on Twitter, I feel like moving them over to YouTube is kind of difficult. What would you say about that?
Bringing people from like Twitter over to YouTube.
Or not Twitter, Twitch over to
Oh,
YouTube.
Twitch?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, bringing people from Twitch to YouTube, I think is very difficult. In fact, there's like this thing, it's called like platform bias. Like whatever platform people are on, it's very hard to like move them over to another one because they usually just prefer the platform they're on. Like why are they going to go to this other platform? So it is, but I think people keep thinking about it like the wrong way. It's not really like again, it's more than just like, oh, I just want to bring these viewers over to like my YouTube channel. You need to be providing actual value to these people because people who start as live streamers I really feel like they don't really understand content creation that well. Like, at least most of them, they don't get what the actual value is of like producing something to be able to help another person. Like, they do, but a lot of streamers have this mindset they just turn on their stream and they just play a game and they talk to chat. But content creation is about so much more than that. And that's why they think like I think that it's weird to like be trying to move people over from Twitch to YouTube because it's not that simple.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of people, like platform bias is a real thing,
Yeah,
and I think that comes back to your point of why like you described like how your Twitch audience is very different from your YouTube audience.
very.
Yeah,
Yes.
very. So what would you say your YouTube audience is like versus your Twitch audience? What have you observed?
Yeah, so they're question askers. Like they just ask question after question after question about me personally and about like videos and techniques. Twitch is a lot more chill and like laid back where you're really just vibing. And I think Twitch has established a lot more of a culture where people just hang out and are in lurk mode. But YouTube is a lot more like everybody in there seems a lot more proactive to like just like take action and to ask you questions and to be involved. And Twitch seems a lot more like hesitant and kind of quiet.
Yeah.
I know like that probably seems kind of weird, but that's like the big notice or different noticeable differences that I've noticed between YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. And I'm guessing like a lot of that also comes from the whole aspect of them knowing you as like a VTuber, an educational VTuber, and
Yes.
them seeing your videos, and they probably primarily knew you through that, and then they go on there and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go ask her a whole bunch of questions, take advantage
Yeah.
of that
It's a
opportunity."
different it's a way different like first impression. I didn't even think about that till you just brought that up. Like a live stream impression first impression's a lot different than like a tutorial first impression. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because like a lot of people on your Twitch stream probably might exclusively know you from your Twitch streaming, which might have been like art or like playing a game or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, you're just hydrating?
Yeah, sorry, I was
Yeah.
taking a sip of water. Yeah.
uh, but anyways, that's actually a really good segue because I wanted to